Okay, guys, what am I working on today? So, on Mother's Day, I was over at my daughter-in-law's parents' house, and they had 2 peach trees. They appeared to be identical trees, and they were about 10 feet apart. So what I did was I took 5 cuttings off of each tree, and I made 10 cuttings. And I am going to attempt to propagate these cuttings. And hopefully I have at least 2 successful that will root. So part of the process is I'm going to cut these down to about 8 inches at an angle. And then I'm going to wet my end of it. And then I'm going to dip it in some of this rooting powder. Then I'm going to stick it down in soil, soil mixture compost. And then I'm going to cover it with perlite. Then I'm going to cover the trays with, so you just dip your end of it down in there, shake off the excess, stick it down into your soil, and then I'm going to backfill that with the perlite. So I've got my 45-degree angle cut, if you guys can see that. I'm going to dip it into my rooting mix. Now, I've got some in red containers and some in green. And the reason I did that was so I'd know which ones came from which tree. I'm not sure if it matters, but just so I know, that one's good. I did a few of them last night, but I'm cutting some of these down. They're too tall for my humidity dome that I picked up. And I just picked up some plastic totes. And you want to make your cut under one of the nodes, which is where it would root from. And you want to take off a lot of the leaves. As you can see, about how much leaves I left on there. Some of the leaves were really long, so I come in and I cut some of the leaves in half. Because what will happen is while it's trying to root, if you have too much leaves on there, then it's going to try to keep those leaves blooming and growing instead of focusing on the rooting stage. So I am coming back in and redoing some of these. But that's a good amount of leaves. You probably don't want to leave any more leaves on there. And like I said, I had stripped the leaves last night and decided I needed to cut these stems down a little more. So my humidity dome, my tote that I got, will fit over it good. So I'm just going about 6 to 8 inches under a node. You can see here's my node. Here's my 45-degree cut. Dip it down in some water just to moisten it. And then putting it into my root hormone. And then shake it off to get the excess off. This is going to protect your root from rotting. And just stick it down in the middle of that. I don't have good pruning shears. I have ruined all of my pruning shears. And I'm not counting on a full success rate on this. But if I can get 2 of these 20 to root, then that is a win for me. So I've got all 10 of the red ones done, which all came from one tree. Let's set that aside. Now I'm going to get the green ones done, and then I'll bring you guys back along when I'm ready to add the Pure Light. Okay, I'm getting ready to add this Pure Light, and it's just the Back to the Roots Organic Pure Light that I'm going to be adding to these. And this is just to help keep the moisture in the soil. You want to keep these moist. Now, this is my first time to do this. I've never tried this before. Some people call it grafting. I'm not doing the grafting method. When you use fresh cuttings, it's called propagating. So I just thought I would try it. Never done it before. Never seen it done before. This is just a little experiment for me. I already had all the products and the cups and all this stuff. Cuttings were free. So you want to keep these moist. You don't want your soil to be soggy wet. Just spritz them down every couple days to keep it moist. So I'm going to spritz them down every couple days while they're in the grow tent. And you want to keep them domed for a few months. Give them time to let them root. Don't go in there pulling them up to see if they've rooted. Just do it and leave it. And I'm going to leave these on this tray. And then my domes, the way I've got them positioned on the tray, my domes will fit over them perfectly. That's to keep the humidity inside, but you need a little bit of airflow when you put your domes on. And I'm going to run the grow lights for about 10 hours a day. Right now I'm going to have them in my regular grow tent until I get my new grow tent all set up with the timer and the thermostat. I can't remember what you want the temp to be at. You probably about between 55 and 70. And the clear totes that I picked up, I believe, are going to be perfect. Now I'm going to spritz these down. I got all my Perlite added to all 10 of them. And I'll show you the clear totes that I picked up for $6 at Walmart. This is the tote that I picked up at Walmart. They are a 20-quart tote. And I needed, so the way I had them cut before, they were too tall. So I had to cut them down today. So if you decide to do this, you need to try to do it all in one day. So they don't start drying out. Let me spritz them first. So I've just got a water bottle, and this is what I will spritz them with when I spritz them. So the Perlite is going to help maintain the moisture as well as help with the roots, to acclimate the roots to start to grow. Now this will take 2 to 3 months. And I believe I picked the perfect size dome here. What I want to do is I'm going to leave it up on the lip of this, just like this. What you want to do is you want to keep the humidity inside. So I'm going to leave it on this lip right here, just so it can get a little bit of airflow. And then I'm going to go put this on my shelf in here. I'm not going to put it in my grow tent just yet. I'm going to keep it under the lights out in the open first. I'll show you in a few minutes. Get this one spritzed. The soil was still moist from putting these in the soil last night. I had to pick up some more Perlite. I could not find my bag of Perlite. I think I may have lost it when we had the tornado 2 years ago. I could not find it with my other stuff. My bone meal, I found the bone meal and it is mush. So I'm just going to add the bag of bone meal to my compost bin out there. Okay, I've got that spritzed. Let me get my other humidity dome out. It's the same kind of setup. Put it on the... So what you don't want are your leaves. It's sitting, resting down on your leaves. This is perfect. So I'm going to go put this on the shelf and then I'll show you the setup. Let me show you my setup. I went ahead and put them in the grow tent. They fit just fine. Instead of running my lights out here, I'm already running the lights in here for microgreens for the rabbits. So it fits perfect in there. I'm going to slide them over once I get the, and center them between the lights. Well, I'll just go ahead and slide them over. So they're completely under the grow lights. I believe that will do it. So that's the setup. And I'm hoping I can propagate some peach trees. And if I only get 2, that would be great. If I get 20, we'll have a peach orchard. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have any comments or suggestions, leave them on the video. And give me a thumbs up on this video. And wish me luck. See you on the next one.